My role at the Puritan is I have 250 residents, all elderly, 62 or older. My role is to keep them independent as long as possible. Our average resident here gets $700 on Social Security. Their rent is 30%, so that leaves them with approximately $500 that they have to use to meet their daily necessities. That includes medication, food, groceries, any of their necessities. So it's a huge challenge for our entire office as far as the demographics that we deal with. As our population is aging, they need more money instead of less. I don't even know how some of these people can begin to even think about existing on less money. It's an extremely stressful lifestyle. If there weren't buildings like these, that person that gets $700, there's no way they could go and get a market rent, pay market rent that would be approximately $400 to $500 a month. I'm here because the GOP needs to keep their hands off Social Security.
Sure, I come out to support Alison, just like her. And I know she's going to make a difference for us seniors. We're on a fixed income and I draw Social Security. And I know she's going to look out for the seniors and everybody else.
For the last year and a half.
I always want to support the people who support me. Right now, I live here at the Puritan and it's a wonderful place to live. But every time you look up, you go to the grocery store, something's going up. Your medical is so expensive. And I mean, if you have to pay and you get sick, I mean, I don't know what we're going to do. You know, with the little income we have coming in, it's just not enough.
I live on a fixed income. I'll be 65 in December, and I'm on disability and SSI. That doesn't go up, but by the time I pay all my bills and everything, there's not much left over for anything. One of the things I loved about Alison's campaign, her advertisement about her grandparents, and they said they're just existing because they don't have money to go out to eat or do nice little things for themselves, and I know how that feels. And there's so many people that need help, that need just medications and doctors and all kind of things, and they need to. It's so stupid. Mitch McConnell wanting to play games with Medicare and Social Security. Social Security, if we want to buy stock, we can do it ourselves. We don't need Mitch McConnell.
Social Security has some issues. It's not nearly as difficult a problem as Medicare, but it has some issues. Republicans in Congress, their plan for quote-unquote saving Social Security is to set up private accounts and let you invest your own money. Well, that would have basically eliminated everybody's benefits from around 2008 and 9 when the stock market tanked. Everybody's Social Security benefits would have collapsed. So it's a very, very dangerous thing to do, but that's what he and Paul Ryan want to do. So there are a lot of things at stake here. There are a lot of things at stake for our young people because we need to have somebody who focuses very intently on education, as Alison Grimes will do. We need to have somebody who will say that medical research is really important to keep funding, because not only are we on the verge of doing some really significant things in solving the mystery of Alzheimer's and making great inroads in cancer and heart disease and other important illnesses, but we saw what happened just because of cuts. What the director of the National Institutes of Health said the other day, he said we would have had a vaccine against Ebola several years ago if we hadn't had those cuts in our funding. Well, we need somebody who understands the value of investing in research and development so that we can find cures for these important diseases. Not sitting there and cutting agencies by 14, 18%, even more in some cases, but important life-giving institutions. So there are a lot of things that we can look to that are contrasts, very stark contrast between Mitch McConnell and Alison Lundergan Grimes. Not the least of which is the age and energy level. I don't want to say too much. Yeah, I know we don't want to say too much about age, but I will talk about energy. And You know, that people have kind of made fun of Mitch for looking like a turtle. Well, he's got that kind of energy these days, too. Alison Lundergan Grimes, as you will see and as you have seen, is tireless, is relentless. She has a vision for what she wants to do for Kentuckians. She knows why she wants to be a United States Senator, and it's not just because she can call herself a United States Senator, because she knows that Kentuckians need help from Washington, and she's prepared to give it to them and us. She is bright, she is passionate, she is compassionate, and most of all, she is somebody who will never stop working for all of us.
We're here today with each and every one of you. It is Americans United for Change, and that is what we need to see in Washington. I know the struggles that the seniors throughout Kentucky have gone through, are going through, and the need to have a senator in Washington that is in touch with them. I saw firsthand the struggles that my grandparents went through. When my grandfather had a stroke, their ability to choose between filling prescriptions and going to the grocery store. I know what it means to live on a fixed income. I know how important, especially keeping the promises that we have made to our nation's seniors are in preserving and protecting Medicare and Social Security. What we have now in Washington and Mitch McConnell just isn't working. It's not working for my grandmother, and it's not working for the grandmothers and grandfathers throughout the state of Kentucky. We have now someone who has told us he wants to repeal root and branch, something that has extended the solvency of Medicare by 13 years, while he has no alternative to offer 500,000 Kentuckians. He would rip insurance from their hands. What we have now is a senator who's voted time and again against actually allowing Medicare to negotiate prescription drug prices, which we know could be a cost savings as it is for our VA. What we have now is someone who proudly proclaims his support of the Paul Ryan budget, which would end Medicare as we know it. You all know, the independent studies have shown our current seniors, it would reduce their authority, especially the spending power that we have. It would make sure, as the independent studies have said, they would wither on the vine. It would slash nursing home funding for our future seniors. It would actually increase out-of-pocket cost. What we have now is a senator that says privatizing Social Security is a good thing. I don't want to risk my grandmother's retirement with gambling her wages. What we have now is someone that wants to change the rules to a program that we've already made promises to by increasing the retirement age, by putting forth chain CPI. We know what this is. This is a backdoor benefit cut that's wrong for Kentucky. It's wrong for our seniors. It's wrong for my grandmother. I'm in this race because my grandmother doesn't just want a grandbaby that she can call a U.S. Senator. She's pretty excited about that, though. She's ready to have a senator who will work to strengthen and protect Medicare and Social Securities. I will honor the promises that we have made in Medicare and Social Security to Kentucky seniors and our nation's seniors. I'm not returning Medicare into a voucher program, and on my watch, we will never privatize Social Security. I know the statistics across this state, well, they aren't just numbers. They're stories of Kentuckians who are struggling. We're fighting. We are fighting night and day. We fought for the past 15 months, and it's going to come down to the next 15 days. That's what we have ahead of us. And the choice is whether we will stand up and fight against a senator who has literally become Rich Mitch on the backs of Kentuckians, quadrupled his net worth, given himself a pay raise each and every year, while saying no to Kentuckians 17 times, actually increasing the minimum wage. I told him at the debate, did y'all see that debate last week? I told him, I said, Senator, I'm not mad that you've gotten rich. That's the American dream. I'm mad that you voted to keep Kentucky poor. That is wrong. A senator, as I will be, that will increase the minimum wage to a living wage. That's what all Kentuckians deserve. This election is about whether we will stand up and fight against a senator who has the audacity to say that equal pay for equal work for the women of Kentucky, well, that's just preferential treatment in his book. He thinks the barriers for women have all been lowered because in the fictional fantasy land he lives in, there's tons of female CEOs of Fortune 500 companies. I hate to break it to you, Senator, but the barriers have not all been lowered because you are standing in our way. With the help and support of each and every one of you, we will stand up and fight to have a United States Senator that believes, as I do, that women deserve equal pay for equal work. 76 cents on every dollar. That's not acceptable. For your granddaughters, the grandbabies that are on the way, we can do better. This election, it's about whether we will stand up and fight against a senator who has sent our vets, our military, overseas, and then makes them come home and fight for the benefits that they are due and deserved and the care that they need. That is wrong. It's wrong. We're ready for a senator that will have the backs of those that have laid their lives on the line for the right we will exercise 15 days from now. This race is about whether we will stand up and fight against a senator who has chosen to back millionaires and billionaires and Wall Street at the expense of our students. Whether we will fight for a senator who believes, as I do, that our children, your grandbabies, they deserve the opportunity to be able to earn degrees, not debt. That is what we are fighting for in this state. And at the core and the reason Grannies for Grimes is here today, well, Mitch McConnell has given us his proposal. He believes Medicare started the problem. It didn't. It's Mitch McConnell backing the millionaires and billionaires and expecting that our seniors across Kentucky should shoulder the burden. That is wrong. Each and every one of you, you're what Mitch McConnell can't buy. He's bought the airwaves. $50 million worth of negative, nasty ads that have been aired against me. A negative ad every 5 minutes. False, untrue, negative claims. He has no record to run on. You'd run away from it too if you had his record. You are the reason we are where we are here today. You are the reason why this Kentucky filly will end up in the winner's circle and we put him out. Another 6 years on top of the 30 he's already had because he'll be able to set the agenda. Well, I'll tell you this, his agenda, it's not Kentucky's agenda, it's not our seniors' agenda, it's the millionaire and billionaires' agenda, which is wrong for the Commonwealth. This election, it'll be about holding Mitch McConnell accountable for all that has gone wrong on his watch. I hope I'm looking out at a choir today. Can y'all say amen? A choir that will help us spread the message that this election, it's about putting someone in Washington finally who is an independent thinker, that can reach out across the aisle and bring Democrats and Republicans and independents together to put the people of this state first, not partisan political interests. Together, we will help put Kentucky back to work. We can bring the change to Washington that's needed. We know the gridlock, the obstruction, the partisanship that Mitch McConnell champions, well, that's what's held us back. From our grandmamas all the way down to our grandbabies. We can can get Washington working for Kentucky again.
That's
We
right
can make
there.
sure we keep the
Yeah.
promises that have been made to my grandmother, to each and every one of you in Medicare and Social Security. But you know what it's going to take, Kentucky? We got to change our senator. So I ask you, these next 15 days, I need you to stand up and fight like you have never fought before.
Okay,
To tell Mitch McConnell to keep his hands off of your Medicare and Social Security. I need you to reach out to family and friends. There's no better messenger than each and every one of you all here
That's right.
today.
That's right.
You need to be the microphone across
Yeah.
Kentucky
That's
that says
right.
we're ready to finally get John Yarmouth one more delegate that he could caucus with in Washington. Because of you, I stand here today, $50 million against me, not blinking, not backing up. He can
That's
try to
right.
bully us, he can try to beat us up, he can try to buy us out, but we aren't wavering, as those polls have shown. I stand here today 2 points ahead of the minority leader.